Austin in Los Angeles, how are you?
Hey, Matt, how you doing?
Well, evidently pretty well. Better than I thought.
All right, I love the show. It's an honor to be here. Anyways, my name is Austin. I was pretty much brought up in the church. I was baptized actually by choice at age 13. My dad is a Bible fundamentalist. The past 5 years I've been searching, studying, and I'm now an atheist.
Congratulations.
And, my dad and I, yeah, thank you. My dad he suffered with addiction, and he has his own reasons for believing in a God, and so we get into a lot of arguments about that. And that being said, I am definitely skeptical by nature. I'm not willing to believe anything without really, understanding what it is and seeing evidence for it.
I don't believe you.
Yeah.
It's something we strive for, right? It's not something
Right.
you attain, yeah.
Absolutely. Anyways, I have an aunt, and I would probably categorize her as almost a pantheist, but she's kind of off in her own world. Anyway, she showed us a master in a martial arts called Qigong, Qigong.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And they do, he does Eastern healings. So he's a healer.
That's what they
Obviously,
claim.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, I was skeptical by this, so I did go with my parents just to see how he works. And it was really, really interesting. First off, he doesn't charge a lot at all for these sessions, so I don't believe that he's just doing this for money.
See, there's your problem right there.
Sorry?
That's part of the problem right there. Is that see, you're trying to anticipate what the objections would be, and that's fine. But you don't know the fact that he doesn't charge you much doesn't mean that he doesn't end up making much money off of this. There's also the prestige and the position of power of being recognized as the healer and all those things. And there doesn't have to be any nefarious reason where he thinks he's actually deceiving people. He may himself be deceived.
Right.
Okay. Keep going.
That's interesting. He's been on That's Incredible and a bunch of these TV shows, and that really means nothing to me either. But it is interesting just to kind of see what he does.
Yeah, because James Randi exposed one of those people who went on That's Incredible as a complete and total fraud. So.
Yeah, and I've seen those, and that's really awesome. But things like, of course, personal experiences mean nothing to me. I encourage skepticism, especially on this subject. So if you guys are skeptical, obviously you should be. And things like my mom had a kidney stone for a while, and she went to Western medicine, and she was not able to dissolve it. And in one session with him, it was about $20, and it was gone. Within 3 days, it was gone.
Okay, well, I had a kidney stone, and I had it one day, and I didn't have it the next day.
Right.
So the fact that somebody had a kidney stone and they didn't have a kidney stone 3 days later doesn't mean that anything any proposed healer did had anything to do with it. Sometimes, after a long time of them not breaking down, they do break down, and sometimes they break down small enough where you can
pass them without
too much pain or damage. I would imagine a lot of people have had a lot of kidney stones and never knew it. So we haven't done anything to demonstrate that there's a causal relationship between visiting this healer, supposedly.
And there very well may not be. And of course, I'm not claiming with absolute certainty that there even would be.
I'm not worried about absolute certainty because I don't think we have that for anything. I'm talking about,
Exactly.
I don't see any reasonable justification for drawing any connection between the two at all. I mean, but continue.
Well, I got to thinking just on a quantum level. I study quantum mechanics and Bohmian mechanics. But I'm thinking on a quantum level, ostensibly, the whole idea of this Eastern healing is the movement of energy, or the transfer of energy. So energy and matter, of course, by Einstein, they're just different representations of the same thing. So why would we not be able to move energy and not matter, or vice versa? So that was just my thoughts on it.
The fact that something isn't impossible or hasn't been demonstrated to be impossible doesn't mean that it's possible, and it also doesn't mean that it's likely or happening. So the time to believe claims like this is actually as after there's been a demonstration, and we'd need several demonstrations that are repeatable, that from which we could draw a strong correlation and then examine further, and before we could actually make any causal statement, we'd need a demonstration.
Absolutely, and I don't believe there is a causal statement.
And probably some understanding of the mechanism. But if any of these proposed healers could actually do what they say with any consistency, any one of them get $1 million from the James Randi Educational Foundation.
Right.
And yet they don't. And I don't know why that is. And when people are asked why they don't go put in for the $1 million prize, it's, oh, well, I don't need the money. Well, give it to somebody who does. Isn't it?
Right.
If you had this ability to heal people, if I had the ability that these people claim to have of being able to heal people, I would be eager to have it tested, demonstrated, proven, and then run out and spend my entire life healing the whole damn world. And yet all these healers are in little bitty communities, and they're
putting on theater shows, right?
Yeah. It just doesn't. It doesn't even pass the sniff test.
Right.
But
he does the healings in his own house. He has also a dojo in there, and he does that. And he actually lives in a large community. Well, at least where I live, it's considered considerably large. And the door's always open; anyone can walk in. But obviously, of course, that's not evidence for this actually occurring. I just think that it is really interesting, especially on a quantum level. And I just wonder what you guys thought about it.
How can it possibly be interesting on the quantum level when nothing that he's talking about, we've not demonstrated any necessary link to anything on the quantum level? I mean, it to me, and I don't mean to be insulting, to me it sounds like you've become fascinated with ideas and concepts at the quantum level and are looking for ways to extrapolate and expand them into all kinds of other phenomena that, if they were true, might be neat. And I would agree with you, if they were true, that would really be neat. But I mean, it seems like you're looking for a place to stick a belief.
Yeah, I would recommend you take a look at the book Quantum Gods by Victor Stinger. And he goes after these sort of quantum claims that some of these folks like Deepak Chopra bring up.
Deepak word salad.
And really take a scientific look at him. He's a cosmologist. He's got the credentials, and he's spent some time looking at that. And that's one of his books that I would recommend.
And by the way, as I go through this, it's not about this is not simple cynicism, and this is not the quote unquote extreme skepticism. It's a frustration, which may not apply to you, Austin, and I because you've been really nice. You're having a conversation. You've acknowledged that you're not claiming any causal link. The frustration is that this stuff is rampant, and there are while this individual may not be charging much or making much or taking any action that's particularly costly, the more people who are out seeking alternative medicines and other Eastern medicines or whatever that have no demonstrated reliability in actually being effective, if they're doing this in lieu of seeking actual medical help that might be beneficial, then it's doing harm. And if they believe this stuff, it encourages them to believe other stuff. For example, if I had a kidney stone and I go see the Qigong dude, and my kidney stone goes away, and he then recommends the reflexologist and the homeopathic cure and the herbalist down there and the aromatherapy person down the street. I mean, how much crap am I going to be getting involved in that could actually ultimately be harmful for me? And I don't necessarily equate it with prayer, but here's the thing. If I have a kid who's got an illness and I take them to the doctor and the doctors treat them as best they can, I've taken a responsible course of action. If I pray for them and don't take them to a doctor, or if I take them to some quack woo meister and don't take them to the doctor, I think those are on equal footing, and I think it can be criminal negligence. But now that I've pissed all over your idea...
No, it's great. Thank you very much.
I do want to thank you for calling, Austin.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Cheers. Have a good weekend.
All right, much happiness and success in your future.
All right.